Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Experience Kills. I am Ben and I'm excited to take you on a journey today into someplace a little twisted. In this episode I've been taking a look at a game out now in early access on PC. So this is a preview of an early look at a title still in development, but don't let that put you off. This game has a lot of promise. Encased comes to us from many houses. Designed by Dark Crystal and published by Black Tower, it now sits with Koch Media under their brand new Prime Matter publishing arm. The smallest team behind this title are based in St. Petersburg, Russia, and as you may know, I relish the opportunity to take a look at games from the less obvious parts of the globe. The reason for this is they often approach the genres from perspectives and with styles that differ greatly from the typical Western or Eastern approaches. Encased in that regard is actually somewhat of an enigma. Its setting is immediately gripping. In the early 1970s, a mysterious dome is discovered and an international effort is made to explore, understand and exploit this discovery. What that means in terms of gameplay is a very classical CRPG experience. In a way, Encased's adherence to genre norms is surprising considering its origin, but rather than being a soulless retread of concepts and ideas we've seen before, it feels original, fresh, engaging, and exciting. For me, a CRPG lives or dies on the quality of its writing, and considering the origin of the game, the translation is absolutely incredible. It's on par with work done on games such as The Witcher 3, with fantastic writing throughout, much of which is already voice acting, even within this early access version of the game. The voice acting, like the writing, is top notch. I did my best to verify who the narrator was voiced by, but was unable to find a name attached to the project. However, as someone familiar with audiobooks and other voiced media, I'm comfortable in saying it's the highly talented William Hale. If I am wrong, this gentleman is doing a fantastic impersonation of his multifaceted performance style. If you are not familiar with a CRPG, let me briefly break down what you can expect from Encased. A CRPG often makes it possible to avoid large swathes of combat via dialogue choices. The genre relies on thousands of words of text and thus reading on the part of the player. The combat when you do choose to engage with it is turn-based, relying on tactics, guile and patience over immediate gratification. In addition, expect to find yourself looking in menus, at skill point allocation screens and inventory grids more often than the more action-based RPGs. But this is the bread and butter of a genre such as this, so that shouldn't put you off. CRPGs have seen a resurgence in recent years off the back of successful releases such as the Divinity franchise, Wasteland Return, and one of the best games of recent years, Disco Elysium. You have probably dabbled in the genre without realising due to how the edges have been sanded down and the experience is made a little more palatable, and Encased is no different. While still undoubtedly challenging, I found the experience well balanced, even if I did find myself dying fairly often, and not just through the tricky combat, but the choices I made. One experience of taking a nap in a coffin will stay with me. That was definitely a mistake. So save often and keep more than one file is my advice. I spent a handful of hours with Encased, but honestly I didn't want to spend more. The reason being, I want to come back when this game is all here and done and finished. I was absolutely engrossed in the world, and I loved the caste system at play in the forms of wings. You could be the criminal derived orange, the security and jar-headed black, or in my case, the managerial corpo manipulator silver. This system is incredibly smart on several layers. It immediately helps you identify the type of person you are dealing with, creates language options for the player and other dialogue that adds colour, pun intended, and spice to interactions that allow subversions of this quickly established character types within the narrative. Dark Crystal have also promised even more ambitious storytelling around how the narrative will unfold in different time periods in pre, concurrent and post-dome settings, and I am intrigued to see how that is pulled off. Encased was on my radar from the moment I saw it at the Prime Matter event, and it doesn't disappoint. Its rich and unique world is wonderfully fleshed out through high quality writing. Its combat is tactical and challenging, but can often be avoided using the classic tenets of smart talking and wisecracking dialogue. There is darkness, but plenty of humour here, and I can't wait to get deeper into it. Encased is out now in early access and is well worth diving into, but as it is a story focused experience, no one would blame you for holding off for the full release coming later this year. I've been Ben for Experience Kills. Please give us a like and subscribe on YouTube, hit that bell icon. You can also find me on Twitter at DIYE, and collectively we can be found at Experience Kills. Until next time, see you under the dome.